Hello, this is Sahar. I hope you enjoy listening to this podcast.
Today I have the pleasure of speaking to Ian and Phyllis Pollock, who are the Certified Silva Method Instructors and the sole authorized directors of the Silva Method in the UK and Ireland. Welcome.
Okay, thank you very much for the welcome, Sahar. Thank you.
I'm very pleased to have you today because I'm thrilled about the Silva Method, and I wanted our listeners to find out also how taking the Silva Method course can be a life-changing experience for them as much as it was for me.
Yes.
And I'm really grateful. I know you're very busy. You tour the country and you do the courses in Scotland and Ireland as well. So thank you for taking time out to be with us today.
Our pleasure.
Ian, can you tell us briefly what is the Silva Method?
Okay, the Silva Method is a self-empowerment system. It's been around for a long, long time. It's taught all over the world. And it's teaching people to use life coping strategies, life management strategies, simple things like taking control, like improving memory, like solving problems, like using more of their creativity, and really being the very best it can be.
So it has an application in our daily lives?
Oh, absolutely. Every day.
I know because I've done all the courses.
Yeah.
But if we can show our listeners, who can take
sure.
the Silva Method? Is it business people, adults, children? Who is it most suitable for?
I think the wonderful thing about the Silva Method is that it is applicable to anyone, all ages, all creeds, anyone at all. Anyone who wants to be more of who they really are. Anyone who wants to know that they can be and do more, to have inner strength. We all face at different times of our life different problems, be it financial, personal, career. And sometimes we need just a wee bit extra.
At the very least, stress, I think. Stress now is a main ingredient of life, isn't
Absolutely,
it?
yes.
And I think if you know yourself, if you have tools and techniques to enable you to know that you can cope.
So it's really all about using a bit more of your mind's power to improve your life, solve problems, get out of stress, have a better health.
Absolutely.
And does it take long to learn?
We teach the course over 3 days, and we work from 9:30 until 6 p.m, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m, and results are guaranteed. There is a money-back guarantee. And the beautiful thing about the Silva Method is once you've completed, you can repeat that course at any time free of tuition costs, in fact, anywhere in the world.
That's amazing. That was one of the things that actually attracted me to. I've heard first about it in 1980 through a friend of mine.
Wow, yes.
While I was at the American University, and her mother had done it 10 years before.
My goodness.
And she mentioned that even then you could repeat it anywhere in the world for free. And I became really interested as to how can I use my brain more, or more of my mind's ability, really.
Yeah.
So that's still on offer.
Yes, it is. The idea of repeating, a lot of people, they work with the Silva Method, they use it, and they reach a plateau. And the idea of repeating is to be able to move beyond that. Remotivation, and everyone who repeats seriously comes back and says, wow, I didn't realise that was part of the course. I'm going to use that now.
I've also realised when I've repeated it last time is that you've actually added new tools.
Yes, we have.
It was like slightly different version of whatever we've learnt long time ago. So it's almost kind of like updated, let me say, that you have new tools and...
Yes, the course is fluid. It is moving. It's important that we do that. And yes, it is moving. It's improving all the time. Absolutely.
One of the interesting things I've met is one of your fresh repeaters when I did the seminar last time, and we had a new participant, and the participant had asked me, do you use Silva Method every day? And I said, yes, I do. And the person who had just repeated it said, oh, really? How? I said, the sleeping technique, the water technique, not using an alarm clock. What else can we really use from the Silva Method? What's your favorite tool?
Okay. My favorite tool is a goal setting. It's actually problem solving or goal setting. And it's using a mental mirror. And to me, it's just so, it's easy to use, it's quick and so effective. See, when we think about problems, every time we think about them, we make them more real. And, people wonder how they end up with more of the problem. The brain, as you know, is a magnificent organ. By magnificent, what I mean is it magnifies every single thing. So if you give it problem, it will give you a magnified problem. It will even give you more of those problems.
Yes.
This technique is about changing the focus from the problem to the end result of the solution.
Right.
From the project to the goal now reached. And then when we focus on that over and over again, that becomes real. The magnificent organ gets to work, magnifies that, and we manifest that in our lives.
Right.
So it's a very powerful tool.
And the techniques, are they available on CDs or?
Yes, there is a Nightingale Conant home study CD pack.
Oh, so you can also do it as a home study course.
Absolutely. And what we find is that some people purchase the CD pack before they come and do the course, and they get a taste for it, and they think, that sounds interesting. And then they come and do the course. And what happens sometimes is people do the course and then they want to consolidate what they learn. And it's a very valuable tool that they can use.
Is it true, because I've read somewhere when I was a teenager, that we use about 3 or 4% of our mind?
Well, some people say we only use 1% of
Really?
our mind. And if we can gain even 1% extra, well, that's
so the Silva method, by using the tools offered in the Silva methods and the tools that people would learn, they're effectively using their mind more, perhaps in a better way as well.
Absolutely. We talk about literally using more brain and more mind. Absolutely.
One of my favourite techniques is the sleep management, because a lot of people have trouble sleeping.
Yes.
And this is really quite a big problem. And so there is a sleep management technique on the course.
To help you
to
get to
help
sleep.
you to go to sleep. And then there's also one to help you to waken up and to re-energise. And what it really does is to give you belief in yourself, to know that you can do that. And when you can trust yourself with simple things like going to sleep and waking up, then you can trust yourself
That's
in
right.
the bigger things in life.
That's right.
Learning to trust yourself.
I can honestly tell you that has really helped me. And since I first did the course, which is, I think it was in 92 or 93, I have not used an alarm clock since.
Wow.
I can really use the technique to program myself, put in the time that I want to wake at, and it really does work. There's also simple things like the water technique, when you hold a glass of water, and
Yes.
I found that also improved, and children love that because it gives them something to
they
do. And
yes. It's another technique for getting more information in order to make a decision.
does it help you learn for children? I mean, for students.
Yes, there's not so much the glass of water, but there are other techniques.
No, I meant, sorry, the Silva method
yes,
in general.
definitely. Particularly designed to help us recall information better, to help us do better at exams and test taking. Absolutely. There's a technique
I'm pleased to see
specifically.
on your website, which is silvamethod.co.uk, that you actually offer now a course for children.
Yes, we do. We're working with that at the moment, and we're working with a parent-children course. So the parent and the child come together, and we do some work with the parent and child
That's
together.
fantastic.
Then I work with the parents in some of the more advanced techniques. Phyllis and Heather and some others work with the children on the children techniques.
That's
then
wonderful.
we come back together. The last course we did was amazing. It was a course in Glasgow, and Phyllis and Heather worked with the children through memory pegs. And I was with the parents, explained exactly what was going to happen, so the parents were up for it and they knew. When we come back together, I made a list of 21 random things on the board. I turned the board round. Every one of those children got 21 out of 21.
That's fantastic.
The parents averaged 5. And then, of course, the goal was for the children to go and explain to the parents what they'd done. The parents were up for it. They knew. But it was a beautiful experience. And some of these little things, I mean, they were aged really 8 to 12-year-old. I think with a couple, maybe 7-year-old, but mainly 8 to 12.
So as young as that, they can do the
Yes.
course. Oh, that's brilliant.
And these shy little kiddies were saying, hey, I got that. I can do it. So the self-esteem was very much improved.
That's wonderful. I know from my nieces, younger nieces, that they're always intrigued. Can you teach us some tools? You know, can I guess
Yes.
colours? Because it also improves telepathy, or I don't know, maybe awareness. We can say
Yes,
that you become
definitely.
sharper and you observe more, and
Absolutely.
even creativity improves. I know some of the participants, because I'm always urging my clients, in fact, to go and do the Silva method. And a lot of them discovered a lot about themselves. I know some of them have went on to write books and movie scripts, and just by doing the course.
Yes.
Can you explain how?
Well, again, the course is about being all you can be.
Yeah.
We all have talents, and sometimes we keep them hidden, well hidden.
And it's the two minds of the brain
Yes.
working together, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is.
Which the sound you developed specifically works for that.
Yes.
Silva.
Yes.
I think where the Silva method really comes in on its own is that it does improve the creativity on that basis, but it also is much more that there's no point in having the creativity if you don't do anything with it.
With it, absolutely.
So it gives you...
It's realizing that I can take it to the next level.
So it's actually thinking it, being creative and taking action. And then you can manifest whatever you want.
Can we ask you who are some of the big names or celebrities who have done the Silva method?
Well, there's lots of big names. People like Dr. Deepak Chopra, people like Dr. Wayne Dyer, you might have heard of.
Yes,
people
of course.
like,
Have they done the Silva method?
Yes, they have. People like Shakti Gawain. There's many, many people who come out and state that it was the Silva method, got them connected with their work, got them on the success track.
Absolutely. It has certainly been the case for me. I mean, it was really turned things around.
We have a racing driver at the moment, Andy Prio, who is the world touring car champion. And in this season, I think at the moment he's in first place again, but he won it outright last year, and he was voted the Autosport Competitive Racing Champion of the Year.
Right.
And his competitors for that were people like David Coulthard and Jenson Button, and this was the first time in, I think it was 30 years that somebody outside Formula One had won it.
Right, that's fantastic.
And he's doing very, very well, and he does accredit some of his mental edge to the Silva method.
You also do special courses for corporations, and I know that you also coach the NHS. You've developed specific courses for them?
Yes. We have a business course. It's a 2-day business course. We take it into businesses. Again, it's reawakening creativity. It's giving the employees coping strategies, stress management strategies. And we take it into businesses. We've been very successful recently with a lot of the NHS trusts, particularly in Scotland and Northern Ireland.
Right.
And they are opening it up to their staff, their doctors, their surgeons, their physiotherapists, their admin staff, and yes, it's been wonderful.
Well, one of the wonderful things about the NHS courses is that we've had a lot of nursing staff because they're under a lot of stress.
Absolutely.
And so it helps them in their family life. It also helps them within their work, and they actually share some of the techniques with their patients, particularly
that's fantastic.
And the relaxation techniques, sleep control, things like that. So it's helping them, helping their patients, so everybody wins.
What's the next step for you? What are your goals for the future?
Okay, short-term goals, we're working on a new course for Silva, and what we do with that, we've been asked to write a new course, and what we'll do is present it to the Silva family and Silva International, and if it is approved, then we'll run that as another Silva course.
Oh, fantastic.
And we're running with it. It's specifically about creativity and multi-sensory perception.
Wonderful.
So that's next step.
I mean, I have to also tell you, I've used the Silva method on very practical places like sorting out my plumbing problems.
Right.
I've used the mirror mind, the 3-frame technique, and it's always worked. And I've talked to a lot of students as well. You can always find an application. I mean, no matter whether it's a big problem like finding my goal in life, or to simple things, getting rid of a cough, or even sorting out the plumbing,
right.
You can do the Silva method.
Right. It's very much about realising that you are responsible for your life, and realising that when you have tools, you can make things happen.
Yes.
You can solve problems, and in fact, problems are wonderful. I believe that the only people who don't have problems are in the churchyard. You know, they're in the big box.
True. That's true.
So I believe problems are good, and when we see them as challenges, a way to grow, when we have tools to handle them, life becomes a bit more fun.
That's very true.
And we also have different challenges at different stages of our life, and so we can grow.
I think especially for young people, it's important to know that you have tools that you can use in the out world that really you don't get enough training at school.
Well, what's wonderful is that we are actually having a lot more
younger people. That's
courses,
fantastic.
Particularly students who they're under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure to come up with the goods to pass their exams. So we have a lot of students there are particular techniques in order to help them recall improve their study skills, and also to improve their self-esteem, their ability to recall what they have learned. Wonderful.
Phyllis and Ian, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Sahar.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.